Good evening, good evening, good evening. Happy Wednesday, November the 20th. Guess what, fans, ladies and gentlemen? We're getting close to Turkey Day. Yes, Turkey Day is fast approaching. Next Thursday, it'll all be all good. It'll all be great. We're going to have those fantastic family dinners, those family gatherings. Everybody's going to be having turkey, dressing, stuffing, all those good fixings that go along with them. All of those things that we love, 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 love to eat over the holidays. Well, while we're talking about what we love to eat over the holidays, me, myself personally, I'm going to go with turkey. I love me some turkey and I love me some dressing. Now there is a difference between between stuffing and dressing. I'm not exactly sure what's the difference, but I like dressing. I'm gonna go with cornbread dressing. And before I get into today's topic, year-end benefits, I'm just gonna do a little quick, make you guys laugh about my first experience making cornbread dressing. I will never forget my sister Gilda when I was a little girl and I was home with her. She said, "Hey, Melissa, you want to learn how to make cornbread dressing?" I said, "Sure. How do you make cornbread dressing?" She said, "Well, get over here and crumble up this cornbread. Step one, never ask how to unless you're ready to." And that was my very first experience with making dressing, was getting there with my sister Gilda and crumbling up that cornbread, getting it all ready and getting it all going. Well, while we're waiting for people to join us, we're just having a little quick chit chat about everybody's getting ready for Thanksgiving and all of the good stuff that they're going to be eating this coming holiday season. So it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of excitement, and a lot of family getting together. And I know everyone is going to enjoy it. Well, what are we talking about today? Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Today, we're going to be talking about year-end benefits. Yes, year-end benefits. Now, many of you may or may not realize that some of your benefits will change as we go through from year to year to year. And it's key and is essential to know that some of these benefits carry over from year to year, and some of these benefits don't. So, to make it plain and simple, we're going to talk about three different kinds of benefits this evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about FSA, the first one, your flexible spending account. Okay. The second one we're going to talk about this afternoon is going to be your HSA, your health spending account. And then the last one we're going to talk about, which some of you may or may not know, is your health reimbursement account. And each one of them they all start with health, right? However, they all serve different purposes and different meanings. It just depends on what you have decided to go with. So, to make it plain and simple, we're going to start talking about the flexible spending account. So, the number one question is, many of you say, "Okay, Melissa, what is a flexible spending account?" For simple terms, FSA, what is more commonly known as, I'll give you the whole name, but then, as of course, we'll go through acronyms. FSA is an account where you put money in to use to pay for certain out-of-pocket healthcare costs, and you don't pay any taxes on this money. So let me go ahead on and lay the groundwork for this. What we're saying is every paycheck, they're going to take money out of your paycheck prior to taxes, and they're going to put that in an account that you can use for flexible spending, right? Now, what does a flex spending or FSA cover? Let's talk about that. FSA will include insurance co-payments, deductible, qualified prescriptions, drug, and medical devices. Let's pause here because I want to make sure everybody understands what we're saying. When you participate in a flexible spending account, you really need to be mindful of your healthcare costs and your healthcare benefits because you're going to constantly put money in there. And the one thing about an FSA is you use it or lose it, right? So now, and I'm going to tell you, using a flexible spending account. I did it in the past and I got caught up in that use it or lose it. So with the FSA, you can go out and you can do co-payments, deductibles, medication purposes, or medical devices. Now here's the caveat to that. If you do not spend all of your flexible spending or all of your SA dollars, ladies and gentlemen, by the end of the calendar year, you will have until March of the next calendar year to spend those previous year's dollars. So, in layman's term, any FSA dollars that you have from 2024 that you do not spend, you will have until March 2025 to spend those dollars. If you do not spend those dollars, yes, ladies and gentlemen, you will lose that money. There's no getting it back. There's no recouping. There is not anything you can do about it. It is use it or lose it. And that's why I encourage people to be mindful when you're going to join the FSA, unless you really have a lot of medical things you need to cover, a lot of office visit, a lot of medications that you may have to come out of your pocket for, then FSA is probably for you if your job offers an FSA account. Now, on the flip side of that, you may have low medical conditions, but you just want to have that buffer there. That's fine. Just don't make the mistake like myself. What I did was I didn't really realize the depth of how much you could lose with the FSA. So I jumped out in that water, ladies and gentlemen, and I started swimming. On the average for the first year, I put $2,500 in the FSA, right? So they took out X amount of dollars per month. Well, when it came to December, I still had almost $2,000 in there because most of my medications were covered at a small minimum copay. So now here I'm at the end of the calendar year trying to scramble and figure out what in the world am I going to spend this money on? And here's the icing on the cake. You have to spend it and get reimbursed for it. So now I got to go to Walgreens. I got to go to this store. I got to go to that store to try and figure out how am I going to spend these dollars. So I quickly learned, unless you just have high medical costs, FSA may not be for you. However, if you want that buffer, just be mindful what you spent out of pocket last year and maybe keep it to a low cost, maybe a couple $100, maybe $500, $1,000 at the max. But I can tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, if I, Melissa, was going to get an FSA for Andrew and I probably would not do more than $750 per calendar year, only because my insurance plan will pick up a lot of those things, right? So that's FSA in a nutshell, quick and painless, right? Now, let's talk about the fun one. This is the one. Health spending account. Ladies and gentlemen, this one makes much more sense for us. So let's talk about what an HSA is, right? You put money away, withdraw it tax-free as long as you use it for qualified expenses like deductible, co-pays, co-insurance, and more. So the difference between an HSA and an FSA is an FSA is limited to only pretty much like a little supplemental copay, where HSA, you can go out and you can spend it on anything that you like. You can use it for co-insurance. You can go out and you can buy these. Remember, we talked about these nice little frames, right? Remember, I told you that I got about, I don't know how many pair of eyeglasses that I went out to Zulu and I started shopping around looking for glasses because I wanted a bunch of different type of eyeglasses. And that's when I found, you know what? HSA, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to try it. Well, guess what? HSA worked for me, right? It really helped me because this money that you put into HSA becomes a spending account, ladies and gentlemen, and you actually get a credit card. Yes, I actually said a credit card. And what that HSA covers, like I said, it covers medical, vision, dental expenses for you, your spouse, and your eligible dependents. So just think about it. With the FSA, it acts like just a buffer. It only covers certain things. Where with the HSA, you have a bigger and a broader spectrum of things that it can cover. So you may want to go out and you go to the dentist and you may want to say, well, I want to get braces. Well, guess what? You can use this HSA. It'll cover the whole cost of the braces. It will make your life so much easier. Now, the one thing I want to make sure everybody understands is this HSA, health savings account, unlike the FSA, because remember, ladies and gentlemen, the FSA, flexible spending account, that is use it or lose it. We're not into losing dollars. We can't. We work too hard for our dollars. HSA, health spending account, those are your dollars for life. You get to keep them. You get to use them however you want to use them. So what happens with an HSA, it can go on for year after year after year. You can continue to add dollars to that through your payroll. And what will happen is they're going to send you a credit card in the mail. And you can use this credit card anywhere, just like real dollars, because that's your money that you're putting in there. I know some people actually like to use their health spending account like a little mini, for lack of a better term, a little mini savings account, a little buffer where they have these extra dollars that they can use and keep over the course of time. They never expire. There's no need to get rid of it. I personally prefer the HSA because that's what I'm accustomed to. And that's what I've been working with over the past, I don't know how many years. Andrew and I have had an HSA, and it works perfectly for us. And the upside to this is however many family members you have, right? You can go on and you can get, you however many family members you have, you can get a card for each one of your family members. So back at our house, Andrew and I, we have our own individual card. He has his card, I have my card, and we just go when he needs to go to the doctor, get medications, prescription fill. He just goes there and it just swipe it like a credit card. Now, eventually, if I don't put any more money into it, then at some point those dollars are going to run out. But as long as I'm employed with my employer, we will continue to add dollars in there, and those dollars will accumulate, and we could spend them however we want to spend them, right? Now, here's the new one. And this one, a lot of people don't know about this one. This one is called a health reimbursement account. A health reimbursement account. Now, this one it's tied for number one for me between, I don't know which one I like more, SHA or HRA, but I'm probably going to lean more towards HSA only because that's my money, that's real dollars, and I could do what I want with it, right? But the HRA is coming into a great second run. So generally, most times you're going to be offered a FSA or a HSA, and the other option is going to be a FSA or a HRA. So I know you're ready for the answer to the question. Well, Melissa, what is a HRA? A HRA is an employer-funded group health plan, and that allows you to get reimbursed. Once again, everything is tax-free. So remember, it's all tax-free, qualified medical expenses up to a fixed dollar amount per year. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is your employer will say you have X amount of dollars to use in this calendar year. So sometimes when you go to the doctor and you have a copay, well, if you have an HRA and your employer sponsor group plan, well, what will happen is Your HRA will pay your copay. A lot of times your HRA will pay your deductibles. When you go to the pharmacy, you know how they say, do you have a card on file? Your HRA will be on file. They'll put that information in there. They'll look, and guess what? It will pull in all of that information for you, and you will not have to come out your pocket for anything. Now, the caveat to that is, ladies and gentlemen, when you have a HRA account, what happens is it is a maximum amount. Unlike HSA, the maximum amount is what you put in there. So as long as you're putting money in there, then your balance will continue to grow and continue to grow. With the HRA, because your employer sponsored it, they're going to designate a certain amount of dollars that you can have. Now, I'm not going to get into specifics about how much money that your employee will put in there, because the amount that's put in there will vary from employer to employer. So with my employer, with our HRA, we got a pretty nice buffer going in there. And they also think about it, when you have an HRA account, you have special programs that they will offer for you to talk about. Well, one thing that you can do is, one thing that it'll do is it will offer you wellness incentives, right? So once they show you those wellness incentives, it will say, well, if you go out and you do this healthy eating program, your HRA will give you an additional discount. If you are a diabetic and you go through the disease, we talk about that all the time, diabetes. If you go through a disease state management, a diabetic program, your HRA will probably give you additional discounts on your health insurance. If you're a smoker and you quit smoking, you go through a smoking cessation program, your HRA will give you a deduction, and it'll reduce those costs. Now, don't take it to say that, well, Melissa said if I do this, I'll get more money taken off of my insurance through my HRA. What Melissa or what Molly is saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, is that if your employer does offer a HRA and you elect to go into that program, there are incentives for you to become healthier. Now, the small caveat to that is there is a cap on it, right? So when you're looking at it and you're trying to decide, do I want to go with an FSA or HRA? I'm going to tell you, go with the HRA. And the reason why, because it's through your employer and you get more incentives. Whereas, ladies and gentlemen, if you go with that FSA, it's not as inviting, or it doesn't give you those real items that you think you're going to have or the coverage that you need. It's just really acting as a supplement. But I want to go back to this HSA for a minute, right? So I'm going back in reverse order. So we talked about HRA. Now I'm going to go to FSA, HSA, then I go back up to FSA, then we're going to come back down again to make sure everybody's understanding the difference, right? Because with all of these acronyms, it can get really, really tricky because they all start with health, right? And we want to make sure everybody is understanding these different terminology that we have going on. And with this HSA, like I said, it covers more than you think. It has a broader range of coverage. You can use it for a multitude of things. You can go to your eyeglass store. Oh, we love our designer frames. We love our designer. You want to get some dental work done, and they say, oh, well, that's a bit expensive, and my FSA, I don't have enough in it to cover it. Well, you can take this HSA, you can go out and get whatever you need done, any type of dental work. And so I want to tell you this, right? Watch this. FHSA, health spending account, those are your dollars, your money. So if you decide you want to have plastic surgery, I've often thought about, getting something done to this nose. Guess what? If I have enough money in my HSA, my health spending account, I can go to that nice plastic surgeon and say, hey, look, I have this nose and I want a nose job. I want to take it up or take it down a notch. That HSA, that's my money. And I can do what I want with it. And they can't say anything about it. It's your money. You put it there. It's no use it or lose it. Doesn't work like that at all. As long as you have that credit card and you have money on it, it is yours to use however you want to use it, right? There is nothing to it. Like I got this little scar right here. If I wanted to go to a plastic surgeon, because that would be cosmetic surgery to get this fixed, guess what? That HSA, that HSA is going to cover this because remember, that's my money and I can do what I want with it. So like I said, we started at the top. Let's keep rolling back up. Let's go revisit this FSA while we're talking about plastic surgery. That flexible spending account, right? It doesn't work that way. What I want everybody to understand, ladies and gentlemen, when they say this FSA, one thing we need to understand is the key word in this whole sentence is certain, right? The word certain. So that means it's not covering everything. That means it's only covering particular out-of-pocket expenses, right? Particular out-of-pocket expensive. It almost acts like a little supplement to support you in those times. So if you have your co-payments or if you have a deductible, so you need to have surgery and you have a deductible, well, it will pay for that deductible. Now, remember a second ago, I talked about with that HSA, I wanted to go to that doctor and get a nose job, or I wanted to go get my scar revision. All of that's considered plastic surgery. Guess what? The answer to the question is no, ladies and gentlemen. FSA will not cover that plastic surgery that is not medically necessary. And that's what people really have to understand, the difference when you're looking at a FSA versus a HSA. And the other caveat to that is with that FSA, that is a use it or lose it. I don't know about you, ladies and gentlemen, and people out there in America in TV land or Facebook land or wherever you're watching from, but I don't have money to just give away, just to give back to some insurance company because I didn't use it. That's exactly right. It goes to the insurance company. Use it or lose it. I'm cost conscious. We try to save as many dollars as we can because the way the economy is going, prices up and down, fluctuating on this and that. And I need to save every penny that I can in order to make sure we stay ahead. But with that flexible spending account, ladies and gentlemen, that's not an option. So remember, December 2024, if you have not used all of the dollars that's within your FSA, you will have until March 2025 to use those dollars, right? Now, here's the caveat to that. You cannot use those 2024 dollars for services in 2025, but you can use those dollars for purchases. So you can go out and buy medical devices, you can go out and buy support hoses, those different kinds of things, because a lot of people don't realize support hose does fall into the category of a DME. So I would encourage you that you will go to a durable medical equipment store and purchase those different things. So a medical device, you might need a cane or a walker or a crutch or something like that. Sure, they're going to cover all of that. But there again, if you don't use those dollars by March 2025, then that money is gone. And remember, I told you, ladies and gentlemen, Andrew and I, we got bit we got bit twice by the FSA bug because we didn't use all of our dollars. So therefore, guess what happened? That's exactly right. use it or lose it. We lost it, right? Now, this next one, a lot of people may be familiar with it. They may not be familiar with it. This is the new one that's coming on that a lot of employees are doing now, health reimbursement account. And this one, ladies and gentlemen, remember, like I said, this is the one where your job is going to offer you one or two things: a flexible spending account or a HSA. The second option will be a FSA or HRA, right? And the HRA is the one that's sponsored by your employer, right? So what happens is your employer will give you a book of dollars, right? They're going to say, hey, here's your book of dollars. You have these dollars to use for this calendar year. And you can use those dollars to support just like the FSA. But the thing with this is, you don't have to get any out-of-pocket expenses with this. This is money given to you by your employer to use, where the FSA, that's money taken out of your check for you to use. So with this HRA, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful world. So when you go to the doctor and you visit your doctor's office and they run your eligibility and they see in your eligibility or your verification comes back and they show that you have an HRA, and you know on the front of your insurance card, ladies and gentlemen, it may say that you have a $25 copay or you have a $50 copay on the front of your insurance card. But if you're in an HRA, and when they run those benefits, guess what? Your HRA is going to pay for that, because that's the perks of joining it. It's helping you to maintain those healthcare costs, which is really, really, really crucial. Which is really, really crucial in this day and age, because we know there are a lot of different things going on, a lot of medical conditions going on. Oh, we're going to see an increase in mental health. We're going to see different changes in everything that goes on. And what I want you to understand is one other one that all of these will have a little variation from. That is with your employee assistance program, right? Those are completely free benefits that your employer gives to you, right? It has no payment for you, don't cost you anything. It's not an HRA, it's not an FSA, it's not a HSA, a flex spending, a health spending, or a health reimbursement. It's none of those, ladies and gentlemen. This is a program that your employer has that say, hey, you need assistance. Do you need some assistance with mental health services? Do you need assistance with that? There's certain benefits that you have in there, that you're able to take advantage of. In particularly, what I like to tell people about and encourage people to use are those mental health benefits that are that come along with your employee assistance program. A lot of people don't realize that your employee assistance program, and I'll put that here for you, is the employee assistance program. It's called the EAP. I'm gonna get it up on the screen. Give me a second. If I could spell. You know, you can't type when people are watching, right? So we're going to bring this up on the screen. And what I like to remind people about the employee assistance program, with a lot of going on, and they keep talking about there is a mental health crisis out here, and people are just have a lot of challenges because the world just has not been the same since COVID. People have a fear of going outside. They have a fear or phobia of going to this place. People are still wearing masks. I'm not judging anybody who wears masks or anything about that. But that's what I want you to understand. That employee assistance program gives you those additional mental health benefits that you can utilize as well. So with some You may max out on your mental health benefits. So therefore, you will turn to your employee assistance program where you can go on and get coverage and through and still see your mental health provider and get those benefits that you need. Now, as we're going through this, our topic today, we're talking about year end benefits. Which ones you use or lose? Use or lose. And as I said, FSA, use it or lose it. It's not an option. Use it or lose it. You have until March 2025 to use your FSA dollars from 2024. Health spending account. Your money, yours to keep, no term date, no end date, no use it or lose it. You can use those dollars however you want to use them, when you use them, where you want to use them. It doesn't matter. You'll get a credit card for that, and you could do whatever you want to do with those dollars. And then the last one that I talked about this evening is the health reimbursement account. This one, ladies and gentlemen, is an employer-sponsored account where your employer will give you dollars so that you may go, may give you dollars that you can go out and you can actually see providers, and they will pick up your copay, your deductible. So we remember, like I said, you're going to have that insurance card, and on the front of that insurance card, it's going to say copay or deductible, right? Well, guess what? When you have a HRA, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes, most times, your job will pick that up. If you use your HSA, that's fine because that's your money. You can use it how you want to, or you can use that FSA to pay for it. So now, while we're here, I just want to see what kind of questions that you all have this afternoon, because it's getting ready to be a new calendar year. And if you have not been through, thank you, Daphne. Thanks for tuning in this evening. If you all have noticed that it has been open enrollment, and when open enrollment came around, you had a choice to make. Which one did you choose? Because we know from experience that when we're looking at open enrollment, some jobs do a great explanation of explaining to you the difference between the various types of benefits, FSA, HSA, HRA. And some jobs, they're pretty deficient in explaining to you the difference. They just give you a website and tell you, oh, go look at this website, and you decide which one you want. They'll have a matrix for you to go out there and look at. And I just encourage people, if your open enrollment has not closed on your job, and some of them they have probably closed maybe last week on the 15th, this Friday past. If it hasn't closed for you yet, you want to be conscious and you want to be mindful of that. And also, while we're here, it's also open enrollment for Medicare, right? So here we go with this again. Traditional Medicare versus a Medicare replacement plan, or are they known as Medicare Part D plans? Those would be your Medicare Cigna, your Medicare United Healthcare, your Medicare, I'm not sure of the other one, your Medicare Principal plans. Those are different types of Medicare plans, and those plans operate as an HMO. So they're very strict and lenient, very strict and not lenient at all on what you can and cannot do. So for all of my Medicare recipients out there that's watching, please be mindful when you pick these plans, because what you think you're getting, right, you may not be getting. And me, myself, I'm a big advocate for traditional Medicare, because I'm not saying that's all I know, but knowing what I know about the different plans, they tend to give you a lot of fluff, right? Those Medicare replacement plans, they give you a lot of fluff and a lot of benefits. You'll see them on a commercial. Oh, we'll give you monies. We'll give you extra dollars for this, and we'll give you extra dollars for that. But what people are fail to realize, my Medicare population, those Medicare replacement plans or those Medicare Part D plans sometimes can cost you a lot more in the long run, because the cost of those plans tend to be much more greater than the traditional Medicare plans. Now, on the flip side of that, if you're just not too sick, you just have a few things going on. Y'all know I love to talk about my brother Alan. He's on a Medicare replacement plan, because when I began to work with him and manage his health care, he was already on a Medicare replacement plan. However, I'm not going to say which plan that he was on. It was not a good plan for him and his medical needs. So if you, ladies and gentlemen, you Medicare recipients, if you choose to use a Medicare replacement plan, please make sure what you're choosing when you look at it. And Daphne is saying that she agrees also about the traditional Medicare, because you know what you're getting. There's no cut. It's cutting through the chase. They're not giving you something and leading you to think that you're going to get all of this extra stuff. And a lot of people don't realize that when they're offering you that when they're offering all of this extra stuff, they're not giving it to you because they like you, ladies and gentlemen. Trust and believe, and I promise you, do a cost shop, do a cross comparison and see how much you're going to pay for this. Yeah, okay, so they're going to give you eyeglass benefits. But think about this. If you have a supplement, you can go to your supplement and get it covered, right? Some of you seniors out here may not even realize you qualify for TennCare as a supplement, right? You can go out and you can apply for TennCare based upon your income, and you may meet the criteria and you can get TennCare. So now you have Medicare primary, TennCare secondary. That's the same thing. Just like having these Medicare Part D plans. But as I was saying about my brother, I had to do a really sit down, cost conscious comparison to make sure that he was actually getting what he needed most, especially because Alan is blind. So he really needed something that's going to give him special programs, that's going to cater to his needs, that's not going to cost him anything extra, right? Because we just can't afford anything extra. We need to keep as much money in our pocket as we can, so we can go ahead on and get those nice Thanksgiving dinners, so we can have those nice Christmas dinners and those family gatherings, because they can be really, really smart. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming close to the end of the hour. And this is your girl, Mully Jones, and I've been talking about those year-end benefits. So before I go, I just want to remind you, ladies, gentlemen, if you haven't had your yearly physical, get that yearly physical in there. Ladies, gentlemen, if you have not had your yearly eye exam, get those yearly eye exams in there. Ladies, gentlemen, if you're of that age, and you have not gotten your yearly colonoscopy, go in there and get those yearly colonoscopies. Men, if you're of that age, go in there and get that that prostate exam. I know there's a lot of jokes about it. I don't know what it's like because I'm not a man. I'm sure it can't be very enjoyable based upon what I've seen it. But know this, you have these benefits once a year. And that's why I'm here to help you. Why have something if you're not going to use it? You spend a lot of work and hard work for those benefits. And if you don't know how to use them, let me help talk you through it, right? One thing you have every year, and that's a birthday. One thing you have every year is a birthday, right? So what you can do is say, well, you know what? On my birthday, I'm going to make my birthday about me. On my birthday, I'm going to go get my eyes checked. On my birthday, I'm going to go get my yearly exam. On my birthday, I'm going to go get my mammogram. If I don't want to do it on my birthday, come up with some yearly event that you want to pick, just a random. You know what? The first Monday after Easter, Holy Monday, if there's such a thing, we're going to call it Holy Monday. Holy Monday, I'm going to go out and I'm going to go get all of my, I'm going to go out and get all of my yearly exams done, because once again, these are benefits that you are paying for. Stop just going to the doctor when you're sick, right? Because that's what we're accustomed to, and that's what we know. We go to the doctor only when we're sick. Well, guess what? You don't have to wait until you're sick to go to the doctor. These are called wellness benefits, right? We want to make sure you stay well. We want to make sure you stay healthy. So in closing, I just want to remind everybody, the year end is coming. Get that physical, get those eyes exams, get those mammograms, get those prostate exams. Because like I always like to say, ladies and gentlemen, why have benefits if you're not going to use them? This is your girl, Mully. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you next time. Bye.